back to my channel. So today I'm going to share my birth story. Annabella Rose, she was born December 3rd at 10:06 p.m. She weighed 7 pounds 11 ounces and she was 20.5 inches long. This pregnancy was very different. I had a lot of heartburn. This pregnancy was very different from my others, although I was a lot younger. I was 23 when I had Aiden and I was 24 when I had Danielle. So I was young, guys. I am 33 years old and this pregnancy was very, very different, including the delivery. Well, let me get into that. December 2nd, I started having contractions. Since it was not my first pregnancy, I really wasn't that worried when the contractions started becoming more regular because they weren't very strong. And I wasn't 100% sure it wasn't just Braxton Hicks again. I had false labor before, a couple of weeks before, and I'd never had that before with any of my pregnancies. False labor sucks. But anyway, I had false labor before, so when I started having pretty regular contractions, I didn't think anything of it. Especially when they just kind of dissipated around 10 o'clock at night. I was able to go to sleep. I woke up at about 2 o'clock the next morning to go use the restroom, because of course you got to get up and use the restroom a billion times during the night, and I saw that I was bleeding. And I ran to go wake my husband up. I woke him up. I said, "Sam, I'm bleeding." And he was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Then it clicked with him. I was afraid. He ran downstairs, went to our neighbor's house and rang their doorbell. He says that he can't remember if he was wearing his shorts. He can't remember if he was wearing his boxers or something, or the neighbor answered the door in boxers, but he told them that, "Hey, Michelle's water broke." And our neighbor was like, "Go, hurry up. Like, don't even worry about it, dude. I got it. I got the kids. I'm taking care of them. Just go." I decided that I wanted to take a shower before I went because I wanted to be clean, because I didn't know how long I was going to be in the hospital, and I hate taking showers in the hospital. So I went ahead and got in the shower. Sam had gotten dressed. While I was taking a shower, I saw that I had passed a very large blood clot. It was about the size of a tennis ball. It freaked me out. I screamed, I guess. Sam ran into the shower. He was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And then he sees it and he was like, "It's time to go to the hospital now." So I get dressed as quickly as I can. I think Sam just like started throwing stuff in there. Like, you made a couple of trips. You made like 2 or 3 trips.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I remember you throwing the car seat in the van. And you were like, "Huh."
Oh yeah, I'll install it later.
Yeah, we were like, whatever, just put everything in now because we were freaked out.
Hi everybody. Ooh. Can I hang out here with you while you tell the story? Or?
Yeah. So Sam drove like a maniac trying to get there, and I was legitimately concerned because I was having contractions. They weren't very strong. I mean, they weren't anything that I wasn't used to, but because of all the bleeding and because of the blood clot, I mean, I was very, very scared, and I was praying the whole way. I was like, "Dear God, please, Lord, let Annabella be okay. Let her be fine." Sam's driving like a maniac. I was like, "Lord, please don't let us crash on the way to the hospital."
You hadn't felt her kick at all either.
I hadn't felt her kick, and I was sitting there waiting to feel something because, you know, you're used to your baby moving, and she hadn't moved at all. And that was not helping me be calm. And I think you were driving like crazy.
I was doing like pretty much 75, 80 and then 60. And coming up, it was 2 in the morning. So coming up on the red lights, you know, I would stop or slow down enough to make sure. No, I would. I wasn't running through them, but I would stop to make sure no vehicles.
Because we live in Virginia, man. We ain't trying to get no. You ran the red light tickets. Oh gosh, you know how cops are hiding in the. But you said that if you did get pulled over.
I was gonna tell him my wife is, 9 months pregnant. She's bleeding. We don't feel the baby. I need an escort.
Yeah. We get to the hospital, park. I get out. I walk. Did you drop me off?
No. We parked. We parked right at the main entrance to the emergency room. And I knew we had to go to labor and delivery. And I got there to the emergency room, and the guy's like, "Okay, well, I need you to fill out this paperwork." I'm like, "No, dude. Like, you don't understand. I'm not filling out nothing." He's like, "Well, how far along are you?"
He asked me, "How many weeks pregnant are you?" I was like,
My wife is bleeding. She's not feeling the baby. We need to get her, like, to the pretty much operating room, but that's what I'm thinking. But we need to get her on the machine right now to check the baby, make sure she's okay right now.
Yeah.
And the guy, he had Michelle sit in a wheelchair. And he was gonna push my wife, like, "Oh, And he told me, he said, I hope you can keep up. I literally pushed him out of the way. I grabbed the wheelchair and I said, I hope you can keep up. And I was off because I knew where labor and delivery was, and pretty much ran Michelle through the hospital. They had her into a room in probably 20 seconds, and they had her hooked up within a minute. And as soon as they hooked her up and we heard Annabella's heartbeat,
oh yeah,
Michelle lost it.
Man.
She lost it.
I was so scared that something really bad had happened, but once I heard her heartbeat on the monitor, I was like, everything was fine. I could stop where I was instantly fine. And they even brought in an ultrasound to check how she was doing, and we saw her face for the first time. I remember the nurse tried to check me because they wanted to see if I was bleeding, or if I was just leaking amniotic fluid, and she couldn't check me because it was too much blood, and she said it was unusual. So then they called the doctor, and the doctor checked me, and they said it had ruptured, but they weren't 100% sure, and later on we found out that it hadn't ruptured.
It was partial.
It was a partial rupture, but they still had to break my water. I had never had anything like that with any of my pregnancies. It was very, very scary and traumatizing.
They told us basically, if her water hadn't broke, they're like, well, if her water hasn't broke, typically, she's only 3 centimeters dilated. We'll send her home.
They're gonna try to send me home.
I looked at the lady and I said, no, you're not gonna send her home. I said, there's no way in hell I'm gonna let you take her home.
It's your life.
That's exactly
I'll
what I
be in
told
the
her.
parking lot eating some chips.
I told her.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got there and it was like I was calm because I know that the baby was fine, and then my contractions started going away. Like I was like, this isn't happening. I was group B strep positive, so I had to go through some rounds of penicillin before they could start me on Pitocin because, for the baby, make sure that, I had all my antibiotics in my system. Yeah, they kept asking me, did I want an epidural? And I wasn't sure when I first got there because I was afraid of the epidural. I was afraid because I had had an epidural before with Danny, and while the labor and delivery went wonderful, I didn't feel a thing. I felt a little something, but I didn't feel how painful and powerful contractions can be. I started having back problems, and I don't know if I can contribute my herniated disc and my back issues to the epidural, but the thought of them sticking something close to my spine made me a little iffy, so I wasn't 100% sure. But when we had been sitting there for so long without any kind of progress, and the contractions were happening, but they were kind of sporadic and they were dying off, I was worried that I was going to be there for a very long time. Haha.
You were there for a very long time.
I was there for a long time anyway. But so I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead, let's do this epidural thing. So he went in, and my anesthesiologist was very professional, and he was very awesome, which was a nice change because when I lived in Georgia, the anesthesiologist there was a jerk face. Jerky McJerk face. You know what? You will find some characters when you give birth in the hospital, and I have stories for days, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have stories for days, but these nurses and
But the ones up here were good.
Yeah, the ones in Virginia, thank you very much.
Really good.
Because he was very awesome, and he talked to me the whole time. He let us know what was going on, and I had that drip, and I could go beep, 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 beep.
And they kept yelling at her like, no, you've had enough.
I know, I pressed the button and go beep. I was like, why are you telling everybody in the room that I'm just pressing the button? Okay, so after that, I had my epidural there. They started me on Pitocin. My contractions got very regular, 2 minutes apart, very strong.
You gotta tell them how long you went into labor for.
But
how many hours?
I wasn't progressing at all. I stayed at 3 centimeters dilated. She was at station -3 for hours after starting the Pitocin. Her heart rate was fine. She didn't have any problems, any issues. So they were like, let me go ahead and step you back off the Pitocin because it's too much. And when they started bringing me down off of the Pitocin, that's when I started progressing for some reason. And I went to 5 centimeters, and they checked me again, and they saw that my bag hadn't ruptured all the way. So they went ahead and broke my water bag.
You're not going to get that video.
No.
You're not getting that video.
No. You don't want to see it. That's gross. So they broke my water. And after that,
I think
was good to go.
It was probably within half an hour easily. She had.
I don't know why they don't just do that when you first get it. I don't care if I'm 3 centimeters dilated.
Well, let's talk about the hours real quick, because this is what Michelle went through.
Oh yeah.
She went into labor essentially on Friday, sometime around 6 is when she had contractions. Didn't think anything about them because she's been having them for.
Well, they kind
a
of
while.
went away at like 10 o'clock.
Yep. So they went away like they had been doing. So Michelle didn't think about it. At 2, the water breaking and the contractions came back. So, and at 10 o'clock at night is when we had Annabella. So she was in labor for 20 hours.
Yeah, we got to the hospital like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know she didn't make her grand entrance until 10:06. So we were there for a while. We were in it for the long haul, and Sam slept on the little hard pull-out recliner chair.
It was nothing. It felt actually pretty comfortable.
The whole time he was by my side. The whole time, just as worried and excited as I was. And I love this man. He has been so awesome. He was able to take time off and be here with me and Annabella and help us out and just allow me to take a break, and I could sleep in, and I know that, you know, he is just, she's got him wrapped around her little finger. And he will not let anybody, you know, the first couple of days, it was like touch and go. It was like, can I hold my baby? Can I see her? Can I hold her? No.
No, baby, you need your rest. I got it.
Yeah, he was taking charge and holding her and changing her diaper, and we just fell in love with her immediately, and we're so happy that she is here.
You've already shown him?
Nope.
Want me to go get her?
Yeah.
All right. Be right back by the magic of television. Or YouTube or whatever.
She was sleeping, and I had a really cute outfit, and she had a nice little headband and everything, and my hair was not frizzy when this started, but you know how everything revolves around the newborn. And she was hungry. I had to feed her. I had to burp her. I changed 2 diapers. She fell asleep on me because she was going to be in the video when the video started, but here she is now. She's still sleeping.
Yeah, she's sleeping.
She's sleeping.
Annabella Rose.
Mad. Her face is all scrunched up.
It's bright lights.
Hey, yo, baby. Hi, sweetheart.
She looks like me a little tiny bit.
A little tiny bit. This man stamped his face all over my children. How fair is that? Is that fair? It's not fair.
I feel like Simba in The Lion King, or what was his name? Mufasa or whatever?
What?
Yeah, Mufasa.
You mean Rafiki? Because Rafiki.
No, he was a bad dude.
No.
Oh, maybe that. No, that's a monkey. It's been a while.
Do you not know the Lion King? You gonna wake up?
Hey. Hey, she's sleeping.
She's not gonna wake up. So anyway, 9 months. I cooked this.
We made this.
Look what I made.
You had some help. I can't believe how good Michelle's doing. She's literally like the day after, she's up walking around, and I gone through, like, the hospital wanted to keep both of them for 2 days because of the what was it, Group B strep, so GBS.
Yeah, they're supposed to, but I don't know how I left so early. I was there for a day.
We fell under the radar a little bit. You were there for a day and a half, but
I was trying to leave. I'd had enough.
We'd already cleaned the house. Of course, the house is always clean, but, like, you know, there's a level of clean. I got home about 3 in the morning. So she was born at 10. I got home about 3:30.
Yeah, because he had to go home and check on the kids and see how they were doing, because our neighbor had been watching them all day long. So when I got home from the hospital, I was so happy to be home. I was so happy to have the baby home, and I was so happy not to be pregnant anymore. I was up and about and walking around and probably doing too much. You know, I needed to take a chill pill. Sometimes it's hard for me to just sit down and be like, okay, Sam, you can...
Sometimes.
Okay, Sam, you can take over, and he is such a wonderful husband, and he's such a wonderful man, and he says, I have it, sit down somewhere, and it's hard for me to do that, but you know what's getting easier? It's getting very easy for him to go ahead and take control and do all that.
We take shifts at night, so typically I'll keep the baby until midnight or 1, and then get her a bottle and all that. Michelle will go to bed around 8. And that way, when she gets up in the middle of the night, Michelle might take her at 3 or 4 in the morning, or I might take her at 3 and 4. So it just kind of depends on whoever's more tired. We kind of talk about it and figure out who really needs to sleep first. And thankfully we have a coffee maker.
Oh yes, I got my Keurig. Merry Christmas to me.
And me.
Oh, there goes the poopies. So that is our birth story. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, you know, if y'all see my Instagram, she is all up and through there because we're so happy and excited and just in awe of this little life. And she's about to let it loose. So we got to cut this video short. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.